This webinar is organized on the 11th death anniversary of late Dr. Rafiq Zakaria at Dr. Rafiq Zakaria College for Women, Navkhanda. Principal Maqdoom Farooqui and his colleagues deserve appreciation and admiration for having been able to bring this webinar in place. Dr. Rafiq Zakaria was a man of extraordinary vision. He was able to foresee way back in 1970s and 1980s that if a region has to grow out of its poverty and mass illiteracy, it needs total transformation. And Dr. Saab's vision of transformation was not limited to the field of politics or their social work. He was the first eminent social thinker, political scientist in a way, who realized that basic infrastructural facilities need to be provided, such as proper and regular water supply, proper sanitation, housing, industrial infrastructure, air connectivity, hotels for hospitality and tourism. And he cooperated with all these sectors and took initiatives to transform the face of this region and particularly Aurangabad. Apart from being an active politician who has held numerous positions in the state government and in the central government as well, Dr. Zakaria was basically a great thinker, a writer of international repute, a diplomat of the highest caliber, a social reformer with passion and zeal to transform his own community and people associated with his community. And of course, an educationist who successfully established a number of institutions in Aurangabad under Maulana Azad Educational Trust, Maulana Azad Education Society. He was chairman of Maharashtra College, run under the aegis of Anjuman Khairul Islam Education Society. He was chairman of the Khilafat Committee. He has held various positions in the government and various regulatory bodies of the government. But he was a man who had the courage of conviction to take a firm stand whenever such occasion arose, be it refuting the fancy allegations of Salman Rushdie or defending the role of the Muslim community in Indian politics, or educating the masses. He was an upright individual. Most of us know that he believed that koi bazm ho, koi anjuman, ye shaar apna qadeem hai, जहां रोशनी की कमी हुई वहाँ एक चिराग जला दिया. So he believed in lighting these lamps of education, of knowledge, of wisdom, and the immense benefits that have finally accrued to the community and people in general from his visionary endeavors. We all know that scores of graduates and postgraduates who have benefited from the institutions that Dr. Rafiq Zakaria established have been able to change their lifestyle, have been able to provide subsistence to their families and their community. Scores of them are placed in high positions at home in our own country and of course abroad in a number of countries. The alumni is world over, and I believe that his vision was basically a vision of transformation. His vision of politics, his vision of education, his vision of social work, and his vision also as a writer was driven by a passion for social transformation. He believed that unless communities are transformed, unless regions are transformed, and its states are transformed, we cannot hope for the larger transformation of the country. So, in order to attain that, he actively took initiatives like the Jaikwari project or setting up of hotels and restaurants in a region, or his remarkable foresight in setting up the premier institute like the Institute of Hotel Management in collaboration with the University of Huddersfield, generating highly qualified and capable graduates who are now part of a global hospitality setup. Apart from these transformative engagements, Dr. Zakaria personally attended to even the minutest details of teaching, testing, training, setting up institutions like the College of Pharmacy or the Teacher Training College or the schools and nurseries for women and girl children. He was so meticulous, so methodical, that he would personally attend to every detail. Of course, he sought the support of people from all walks of life, from social workers, from active politicians, from those who could contribute to this great cause of education, from a common man to the president of the country. He had access to everyone, and he was a very accessible person. I personally feel that those who worked with him, who had the fortune to be associated with him and work with him, are very lucky, because every moment of his company, being in his company, was a lesson in learning, was a lesson in training. So he not only provided facilities for education. He molded minds. He molded characters, and he shaped their future. And that was obviously his vision of transformation. His legacy still continues. We have scores of institutions that have grown by leaps and bounds. And after Dr. Rafiq Zakaria, the legacy was passed on to Honorable Mrs. Rafiq Zakaria, who continues to be the chairman of the trust. And Mrs. Zakaria, we all know, actively supported Dr. Rafiq Zakaria in all his work. And after his sad demise, she took the legacy a step further. I'm sure all of us believe that she transformed the campus and the institutions into world-class, highly ranking institutions in the country. She was herself conferred honoris causa doctorate by the University of Huddersfield for her contribution to education and knowledge. But this also is something that we must associate with late Dr. Rafiq Zakaria, because it was in his company that Mrs. Zakaria, who was a gainfully employed individual who worked with Times of India, with the Tata Trust, realized the importance and value of education, and dedicated her life to nurturing younger children, set up schools, supported them financially, encouraged teachers and students to attain a respectable level of maturity, knowledge, understanding, so that they ultimately grow into responsible citizens of this country and also grow responsible members of the community. So his contribution to the field of knowledge, scores of books that he wrote on Khilafat, on partition, books that he wrote on the Muslim participation in Indian politics. Actually, his basic thesis that he wrote was about the Muslim participation in Indian politics. So he was a writer, he was a diplomat, he was a politician of the highest caliber, he was an administrator, he was a very good father. I have known the family for quite a few years. He loved his children, and his children loved and respected him. And he was a very, very secular Indian who believed that every Indian, beyond considerations of caste, creed, social status, deserves a place of dignity and place of respect in our society. And it is towards that goal that Dr. Zakaria strived all his life. May his soul rest in peace and be in the mercy and benevolence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank you very much.